past and present weather does play a role in this breaking news that we're following right now, a fire.
Yeah, we want to take you to Revere, Massachusetts, because I want to show folks your temperatures over the next couple of days, and then we'll talk about what's coming next for you. You know, you look this morning, it is much colder than it was yesterday this morning. In fact, at this time, yesterday we were about 30 degrees warmer. So it's that change, too, that's so notable, right, and gets you. Officially 17 degrees in Central Park. We're going to find temperatures today staying chilly. That's going to be the trend. And we get you over the weekend, you're going to notice a change here in temperatures. There is a gradual warming trend that we'll see for parts of the mid-Atlantic, places like D.C. where you don't have any snow cover in the ground. We actually do get to warm up a bit. Look at 52 degrees in D.C. on Saturday. Sunday even warmer to 61. New York City, we are right on the edge of getting that warm up here, getting close to average by the time it turns around here to end of the weekend. But that begs the question. Let's go over to Chris and Greg in the lab. That begs the question when our next storm. All right, gradual warm up. We've got it going on across the plains. Take a look at some of the temperatures we're going to start talking about. 42 degrees in Des Moines, Iowa today. That's where we're heading to. It's a nice change from where we've been. We still have snow on the ground, about 9 inches, but we're going to start to whittle that away when you see what's coming your way all across the plains. So look at these readings today. Quickly heading up through the 30s to nearly 40 at 4 o'clock. We'll hit 42 degrees at some point today. Sunshine out there, though I would caution there might be a little fog overnight tonight as we get that melting snow, of course, starting to happen with those warmer temperatures. And then the trend is that tomorrow morning we're going to start warmer than we have in days, and it's going to keep on going with this warmth. Spring fever is on, Chris. It is on.
Yeah, it is on in a big way, Jen. When we look here at the 24-hour temperature change in Des Moines, this time yesterday, it was 30 degrees cooler.
It was sub-zero across parts of Iowa yesterday. We've got such a thick snowpack. Let's get rid of it.
Right, and that's what these little red triangles are pointing up, showing us how much warmer it is today versus this time yesterday. Many spots warm, and this is why. Big Ridge shifting a little bit farther to the east, allowing some of that warm air to hang out.
Record highs we saw yesterday in Wyoming and California. We're going to see more of that spreading into the plains.
15 to 30 degrees above average. Even the southeast will be dealing with a little bit warmer weather. And then today, here's the forecast high in the record. Should beat it in Rapid City, come close in Denver, Pueblo, Colorado, 6 degrees. That's the forecast above the record.
Goodland, Kansas? I mean, who wants to go to Miami? I want to go to Goodland, Kansas.
Almost 80 degrees.
I love it. Wow. All right, so warmth is coming and the spring fever is on. You'll feel it today all across the middle of the country, and this builds through the weekend. 60s and 70s in many spots, and even more red right here. And so we are also going to be dealing with some changes in the west. Well, you know another spot that's going to be warm today in San Francisco. We're coming close to a record high, but it's not the temperatures you're talking about in San Francisco.
Right. It's not the shorts and flip-flops kind of situation. You'll need the umbrella, but not for shade. It's the rain that we're looking at. In fact, finally, we look right here, Jen, as we look at the Bay Bridge, looking out off to the west.
Dr. Greg Postel. Greg, let's chat about Boston. So, you know, New York City has got the issues with a little bit of a warm-up over the weekend. But for Boston, we are cold enough to stay all snow. So how much are we going to get?
A lot. And it's really days of snow. And in fact, you could call this nights of snow, too, because on Saturday night, right, you're going to get snow in Boston on Saturday night. But it's not just Boston. It's Massachusetts. I mean, you know, all of New England, New York State. A lot of snow is coming your way, but not all at once. That's an important part. It's going to keep coming and leaking in, right?
I'm just thinking about all the Groundhog Day references. It's going to feel like that here. I mean, you wake up every morning, it's snowing again.
Sunday, yeah, and not all of it will be really hard. You know, some of it will be little light flakes coming down, but kind of a dusty snow. I think a powdery flavor to it because it's going to be so cold. That's what we've been talking about for a while.
And that's going to be the story. Now, when we get to Monday, things change a little bit because now we've got a low moving off the coast, a little more moisture to work with.
I think you're right. That's a good point. I think on Monday there's a chance for some coastal development, and that will bring a little bit more substantial moisture in to eastern New England. So some of the snow that we see on Monday and maybe even Monday night could be a little bit more than just light snow in Boston, for example. And
it's Monday night. We're still talking about snow. You don't get the blue off your map through the entire weekend. Tuesday morning, still blue.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're in Boston or in the Northeast and you love snow, I'm happy for you. But if you don't, I feel for you because it's time, right? And we're going to see now the snow sort of evolve in your direction. Because of the jet stream shape right now. If you look at it from now until early next week, this is how it's all going to happen, Jen. We're going to have that northwesterly flow. Little ripples in that jet stream will be bringing just enough moisture into them and deposit the snow in that area in the cold air.
You know,
that's the setup.
I mean, this kind of situation can lead to either freezing rain or a wintry mix. You know, so we have that concern on sort of the edge of the precip. You got to really be in the heart of the cold air to get the snow.
That's exactly right. And it's going to be kind of a long duration, as we talked about. Watch as we go through, I would say, this morning and this afternoon. You're going to see one after the other little pieces of energy in that jet stream deposit some snow across parts of the Northeast. And again, the initial bursts I don't think are going to be that heavy. But Jen, you were talking about watch out on Monday morning. There are some signs that there may be some more substantial snow just hanging back a little bit in eastern New England as well.
It's just the relentless nature of the snow that's going to add up. I mean, Boston, overall 12 to 18 inches, but you don't get it all at once.
No, this is the beginning stage of it, right? There's the Saturday stuff, and then Sunday, you're kind of ramping your way up, right? Getting ready for early next week. Monday, we could see 5 to 8 on Monday alone. So again, as you mentioned, Jen, adding it all up, and that's in the 12 to 18 inch range, and that is on top of a lot already on the ground.
You know, we did a story earlier in the week about how much of the season is left when it comes to snow, and for Northeast cities, you traditionally get a lot of your snow in the second half of winter. So yeah, this is happening.
Exactly right. So today, looking not too bad, cold but not too bad. But then your 3 days of snow coming in with maybe some wind on Monday, with that potential for a coastal development there. But let's talk about the cold now.
Yeah, because those temperatures, while they were cold enough to snow, they weren't Arctic cold like we have this morning.
No, right. I mean, and we can sort of step our way from today through the next, say, week or so, and watch how the Northeast, if you're going to pick a spot on the map that's got the cold air that's going to keep getting it, it's the Northeast.
So it's not here, it's not here, it's not here,
it's not really
right
even
there.
in the Southeast. I hate to say it, it's not really in the Southeast. There it is in the Northeast. Monday, this is early next week now. There's another little batch of cold air coming behind your snow in the Northeast on Tuesday. And then, look at this one, as we go to Thursday and Friday of next week, Jen.
As Chris said before, I think he was talking about New York City, but they went from very cold to cold. Now we've got very cold coming back.
Right. It's coming back. That's right. Looks like the target is the Northeast with that northwesterly flow in the jet stream, and that's what kind of the models are zoning in on right now. And if you look at
that's Valentine's morning, by the way. That cold air comes in.
So let's imagine Boston going out a long way from now. Of course, there's going to be some uncertainty in this forecast, but look at those numbers toward the end of next week. And again, we could do this for Providence. We could do it for Bangor, Maine. We could do it for Albany, New York. The northeastern corner of the country, way below average the end of next week.
And these are high temperatures.
High temperatures.
High temperatures.
Right, exactly.
All right, Chris, very cold coming back into the forecast by the end of next week. Back to you. Thank you. Now, this May marks 2 years since a deadly EF5 tornado ripped through Moore, Oklahoma, killing 24 people, damaging more than 1,000 homes. Now, researchers of Virginia Tech are using 3D immersive technology to study how destructive this tornado really was. Our Jim Cantori and Dr. Greg Forbes went inside the simulator. And welcome back to Weather Center Live. It is, let's see, 11 o'clock Eastern. I'm Jen Carfagno.
And I'm Chris Warren. We're following dangerous winter weather that's moving into the Northeast in the coming days.
Bad news for you. So let me show you the forecast, and then we'll chat about it. We do have temperatures that are going to warm up over the weekend in New York City. So take a look. This morning has been cold. In fact, at one point, we were about 30 degrees colder this morning than we were yesterday at this time in the Northeast. But as we get you through the weekend, you know, I know it's cold everywhere right now, we're going to see somewhat of a moderating trend. Not today, but tomorrow. We will start to feel it in some places, like Pittsburgh, like D.C., like Philadelphia. New York City, we're right on that edge of getting the warm up or not. And up into New England, you're really not. But you look at New York City tomorrow, we're much closer to average, into the 30s. In fact, by Saturday, we are at our average or even above 41 degrees for us here in New York City by Sunday. And then on Monday, you're going to watch us drop back down into the 30s. So Reagan, the story here is that we're going to see these ups and down temperatures, but it's more of a sort of uptrend as we get through the weekend. First, Middle America, and we are already seeing the trend. Temperatures on the plus side going up here. Let's look at Des Moines, where, you know, yesterday morning, Iowa was ground zero for cold air. Everyone was sub-zero across the state. Today, we're looking at much different numbers, heading up to 42 degrees in Des Moines, and it's a good trend. Let me show you what's happening here today. We got sunshine out there, temperatures heading up to the low 40s, and we keep overnight tonight. Temperatures do not drop to not even to the teens. We stay stay at about the freezing mark overnight tonight in Des Moines, Iowa. And that's the trend, Chris, that we're going to see this warm up. We felt it in the west. We're going to see it through the plains into the Midwest. Eventually, parts in the Mid-Atlantic will get to feel it as well.
And a lot of people are going to catch a little spring fever.
That's a fever I want to get. Let's take a look at these numbers. I mean, first of all, the change compared to where we've been is huge.
Yeah. Does it feel warmer for you in Des Moines?
It should.
28 degrees warmer compared to this time yesterday. That's what the red little triangles are pointing up, meaning it is warmer. If it was a blue arrow pointing down, that means it was cooler than yesterday. But that warm air spreading east.
So it's been warm in the west, and we've seen some record highs lately. That ridge of high pressure is shifting to the east, and it's going to be felt in the plains. 15 to 30 degrees above average.
And this is a potential for breaking records. Today, forecast tide, Rapid City should break a record by 2 degrees. Also, Pueblo, Colorado should bust that record by 6, Jen.
You've got flip-flops out this weekend in Goodland, Kansas, 78 degrees. Look at Amarillo.
Almost 80, 77.
Take me there by morning. I want to go. I mean, look at these readings, 70s, right? Upper 70s. It looks fantastic. Spring fever for sure.
South Dakota into the 60s, upper 60s at that.
You know it's not going to last, so enjoy
tomorrow?
this.
Yeah, enjoy that 77 in Amarillo. Wichita also at 70 degrees. Let's go ahead and take a look at where it's milder.
It's mild.
It's mild.
But it's going to be rainy. Finally.
Right here. And Jen, as we look, so here is San Francisco, and I believe that is Alcatraz right here. So we're seeing a beautiful scene, but more clouds. We look North Bay, you're seeing some of the clouds. And if you use this as a point, Jen,
yeah.
you can see the clouds.
Oh, you can see the clouds moving.